Hello my dear Capricorns and welcome to your weekly reading. My name is Alexa, I go by alexab.alchemy. Today I'm doing a reading for the week of November 5th through November 11th of 2023. Now, my dear Capricorns, for you for this upcoming week, I actually already pulled the cards out. I had a second to organize them, to really feel into them and analyze them before doing this reading. Normally I do them live, but today I do not feel called to do the live reading. I feel called to kind of have looked at everything first. So, I'm going to start out with sharing the main message that came for you guys. Usually when I do these readings, I like to ask what perspectives will be helpful this upcoming week, what guidance will be useful, and what themes will you be looking at. And my dear, the primary theme that you're going to be looking at, it looks like, for this upcoming week might have something to do with your storytelling and your narrative. So this card of turquoise, card number 57, has everything to do with framing, reframing, a different way of perceiving themes, allowing a different vantage point. I'm getting a lot of Sagittarian energy with this, which I friggin' love. So for some of you, getting through this week is going to look a lot like paying attention to your stories and your narratives. Now, there are a lot of themes where this may be applicable, so just be aware that you may see this repeating itself in different aspects and areas of your life. The first thing that I want to really get into is the concept of self-mastery. So Numite in reverse. Anytime a card is pulled in reverse or upside down looking, it is indicative of things that might require some shadow work, might be a little bit more challenging to look at, maybe you have some resistance to, also something that you may be projecting out onto the world around you, and you're now being asked to turn and look within yourself. This card is all about looking at treasures within. I also pulled for you guys the card of Jade, which is treasures within. So there is definitely this like turn inward and acknowledge your greatest gifts from an internal perspective, what you offer to the world from a very deep level, and your narratives about, what lies within you. Your narratives about Jade also has themes of enoughness and abundance. So your narratives surrounding those concepts and those topics might be a little bit more at the forefront for you this upcoming week as well. Again, Numite having been pulled in the reverse. This card is all about self-mastery. So some of you may be feeling a little bit of challenge with this. Maybe you're feeling like you are not mastering these things. The encouragement, however, with this, my dears, I also pulled Diamond in reverse. Diamond is all about strength and challenge. Strength and beauty arising from challenges. So whatever challenges are coming up for you, it seems like there's going to be a level of strength that's going to arise as a result of you looking at these things and actively choosing to pick the friendlier narrative for yourself. That seems like a really big theme. Pick the friendlier narrative. Honestly, at any point in this week where you're like, how do I want to respond to this and what's the narrative I want? Pick the friendlier one to yourself, really. I did pull for you guys Pink Sapphire in upright, card number 44, if numerology is of interest to you. And Pink Sapphire is all about forgiveness. This one can be, I'm getting forgiveness of the self, honestly, for a lot of you. Also indicates an active choice to heal. For some people, this is going to be a more active process. I pulled Tiger Eye in reverse, which is all about action and taking steps forward. So this healing process for some of you may look very action oriented. And if that's the case, that's probably a good thing. For some of you, it may feel a little bit more internal. Again, Tiger Eye was also in reverse, so this might be more of an inner experience. But I am getting for a lot of you that this choice to heal is going to have some really action oriented aspects to it. I'm getting like mentorship or deep work or EMDR therapy, like things that are going to require a little bit of effort on your part to enable this to like fully come through. This brings me to my next theme, which is the theme of like acceptance and letting go. There were a few different cards that really pulled up this theme of acceptance for you guys. The first one that I want to speak to is the card of Petalite. I pulled this one in reverse. This one is about like detachment, healthy detachment. This is kind of the impersonal quality of the universe, Aquarius energy, if that's something that is interesting to you. So you are being asked to detach from your experience enough so that you can have a healthy relationship to it. Storytelling, when it comes to storytelling, sometimes we can get so absorbed in our experience that we are unable to see it from a like clear vantage point, and that can really get in the way of what our narratives are about something. So being able to detach from it enough so that you can have a more healthy and holistic perspective might be really useful for you. I did also pull the card Blue Lace Agate, so this one and the Petalite both have themes of like non-attachment, healthy detachment, taking a step away. This particular card, the Blue Lace Agate, also has themes of like a freedom from, the word freedom is really strong with this, like a freedom from the weight and the heaviness of your expectations of what's going to happen. Oh, that one in turquoise also coming through. So your expectations of what's going to happen can also be like a huge weight that you're carrying that's honestly blocking you from living with a sense of excitement. I pulled for you guys Watermelon Tourmaline in reverse. This is all about childlike wonder. So there's almost this like wonder and awe and excitement and like joy about life that I feel like some of you want to be having and you can be having. And a lot of what's blocking you from that is this attachment to the way that you think things need to be, or you think that things are going to go. It's this storytelling, it's this narrative work that's really dictating how you're reacting to the world around you, which is honestly the case for most people for most things. But that is not what we're here to talk about. Aqua Aura Quartz as well. These two cards really, to me, like kind of bounce off of each other and have a lot of themes of being willing to be present, willing to connect with this sense of wonder and awe, this sense of excitement about life. Childlike is like the best word that's coming through in the most beautiful way possible. This childlike ability to live. Kids are so good at living in the present and living with excitement. Like kids always kind of know what they want to do. You know, kids are never like, well, maybe a little bit, but for the most part, if you present a kid with like, here's 5 things you can do today, they typically are very good at understanding what they want to do. They don't have the same level of responsibilities as adults, so that gives them a little bit more space to live presently, but there is this level of presence that enables that capacity to see things with a level of like joy and excitement and wonder. And like they can get excited about the smallest things sometimes because they're able to be so present, so violently present. And that's something that you are being encouraged to also step into, is this level of really just honestly being present with yourself and your experience. I did pull for you guys as well. Which one do I want to go into? Bronzite. I think this card is one of the most beautiful ones on this deck. And this card really talks about this level of like loyalty, and steadfastness. This can take the form of a few different ways. If loyalty, honesty, lying, deception, etc. has been a theme for you, maybe paying attention to your relationship to those themes. Outside of that, if that doesn't feel resonant to you or doesn't feel like it's been a predominant theme for you in recent weeks, then this card might also be encouraging you to have a level of trust on a more on a larger scale. So trust in the universe. I pulled for you guys Amazonite, so I feel like a lot of you, this card has everything to do with trust in the unfolding of events. So there's this like bigger picture of maybe feeling resistance to what's going on in your life. Getting the Numite one released, popping out in the diamond, like some resistance to what's going on, resistance to the challenges that you're facing. Even though they may make you stronger, there's some level of resistance to that because a piece of you maybe doesn't trust that the unfolding of those events is ultimately what's going to bring you to the things that you want. A lot of the times when we get super far in our heads and we don't have like a clarity of thought or intuition, I pulled Malachite, which also has a lot to do with that theme of like clarity of thought, then we can get really caught up in, how do I want to say this? We can get really caught up in having expectations of things going a certain way. Again, narratives, expectations that things are going to go a certain way to the point where we don't trust the unfolding of those events. We don't trust the bigger picture, and we're being asked to trust the bigger picture. We're being asked to trust that there is I want to say a plan, because I feel like for somebody that's not going to hit home per se, but there's this level of like trusting in the way that life is unfolding, your narratives about the way life is unfolding, that can actually be really healing for you in this upcoming week. Again, finally, I'm going to pull this card up one more time so that we can examine it a little bit more. The card of Malachite, beautiful card. I say this about a lot of them, but this one is genuinely one of my favorites of the deck because it is acknowledging the ability for us to have a sense of clarity. Again, clarity of your thought, clarity of your intuition, being able to discern. Discernment is a really big theme here. Being able to discern, again, Virgo energy, I'm getting I'm getting Virgo moon for some of you, and then Chiron, Chiron and Virgo. So there might be some themes of like, I guess, being willing to integrate your intuition with your real life experience. Some of you may have a relationship to your intuition where you can access it and you can acknowledge like, oh, this is what my intuition says. But there might be like a little bit of a disconnect between how you're actually living, the stories that you're telling yourself and the stories that you're subscribing to. The stories that you are subscribing to, that is a really important theme. What are you subscribing to? What are you choosing to believe? And I feel like this concept of self-mastery is really going to come down to being able to discern between what is a thought, what is a narrative, and what is reality, and trusting that reality has your back, the universe has your back, the things that are going on have your back, even if your brain is telling you that they don't. This ability to disconnect from the narratives that it needs to be painful, or to disconnect from the narratives that you're failing, or you're doing a terrible job, or you don't have enough, or you are not enough. Like, these themes are all, to me, honestly, presenting an opportunity for you to choose to instead connect with a level of like excitement about the journey that you're on. So it's kind of a meta concept, but like being able to see the experience that you're having and the challenge that you're having. Again, Diamond, beauty and strength arising from your challenges. Being able to connect with those challenges in a way that serves you the greatest story, that serves you a more positive relationship to your experiences. One final thing that I want to note, which is a little bit irrelevant, but I do feel like it's going to tie in. I did post a TikTok pretty recently about this. So on November 4th, we did have Saturn going direct. Saturn was in retrograde since, I think it was like June 17th of this year, June 17th of 2023. So Saturn is the planet, for those of you who are not familiar, that kind of speaks to our level of discipline, as well as our sense of duty. It can represent themes in the way of like limitations and restrictions. It can also show us themes as they pertain to our commitment. So if commitment has been a big theme for you, or responsibilities, I'm getting responsibilities really big for some of you, or your sense of responsibility has been a big theme, especially in a way that's been pulling things up from the past, causing you to review, reevaluate. Again, retrograde periods are all about turning back, looking back, understanding the past. But because Saturn went direct on the 4th, now we have an opportunity to shift that into the present. Beautifully enough, again, watermelon, tourmaline in reverse, aqua aura quartz, all asking you to live from a more present state. So astrologically speaking, you actually probably have some advantages right now, because those themes have, the lens that we are collectively viewing those themes has kind of shifted to be one that is a little bit more present. So being able, so ultimately what I'm saying is that the astrology actually seems really forgiving for this process of developing self-mastery with these things, of being able to look at things of the past, acknowledge things of the past, take them for what they are, say thank you, I love you, I appreciate you, thank you for being here, and then saying, I am ready to heal this, I'm ready to forgive this, I'm ready to move forward. And being able to do that astrologically, you have all the support that you need. So my dears, this upcoming week, again, themes of narratives might be coming up a lot. There may be some challenges with this. For some of you, this narrative work, I'm getting like mother or family or maternal line, maternal lineage. For some of you, if you are a mom, the way that you relate to your kids, or the way that you relate to motherly figures. It doesn't have to be like your biological mom, but that maternal energy also might be something worth looking at. So, do I want to do tarot? No. I'm feeling called to close out with just the oracle today, my dears. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have questions on any of this, or this felt a little scattered, or you're like, I want a little bit more clarity, or it just feels like I want to kind of dive into something a little bit more deeply, please reach out and let me know. You can find me here, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere at alexab.alchemy. The astrology piece that I mentioned, if you want to dive more deeply into that, definitely go check out my TikTok page, because I am starting to release information about what's going on in astrology more regularly. So if you want some support in that arena, please feel free to check that out. And finally, make sure that if you found this helpful, you give me a little thumbs up, subscribe, share this with people, or just otherwise let me know that it was helpful so that I can continue to do these for you guys. And like I said, if there's anything else that you need, please reach out and let me know. Thank you Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. I love and appreciate you guys so much, and I will see you guys next week. Cheers and have a good one.